Hey YouTube, what is going on? I'm back again, making another video. So yeah, as you see, I got better quality here. I'm actually recording from my phone. I gotta get a new camera pretty much for my laptop. So I was definitely going to do a part 2 video. I still got to put my notes and stuff together, my scripting together for the new video. But it was going to be on, there's going to be part 2 to the Protagonist versus Antagonist video. There's going to be me talking about the Antagonist. I was going to do an off-the-cusp review. And let's get into it, man. So pretty much, I went over the Protagonist, like I said in the last video. So in this video, we're going to go over the Antagonist. Now, what is the Antagonist? The Antagonist is the person that, go to your grandma? Go to your grandma, baby. So, yeah, so the Antagonist is, of course, is the opposite of the Protagonist. So it's basically the person that, he's the opposing force to the protagonist or the hero. So the protagonist or the Antagonist makes it very hard for the hero to accomplish the goal that they're set out for. So some examples I found were like Voldemort versus Harry Potter. So, you know, Harry Potter is the protagonist. He's the good guy. The story centers around him. Voldemort is the opposing force. He wants to kill Harry Potter, and he has all the reason to kill Harry Potter. So, in a sense, both opposing forces, like if you look at both opposing forces, they both have a purpose to stop each other from accomplishing their goals. You know, so. And I just like to say too, also, you know, in the middle of this video, if you want to, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get people in here. We're trying to get people in here. We're trying to get the likes. We're trying to get the subscribers up. We're trying to get all that up. So definitely do that. Definitely do that. You know, show some love over here. You know, we're only at 43 subscribers. You know, right now the small goal is to get 1,000 subscribers. We're 43, so we got a long way to go. Anyway, so as far as your Antagonist, now I usually like more, just like my heroes, I like complex villains. I like complex protagonists. And a protagonist also isn't always necessarily a person too. It could be a force of nature. It could be a mountain climber, climbing the rough elements of the mountains, and the Antagonist is the elements. The elements is up against him. So, you know, it's a lot of things, you know, that you could put as that opposing force to that protagonist. You got people that are complex villains. I think what makes a really good villain, again, is the complexity of a villain. I prefer not a villain to be somebody who's just solely there to be a villain. We've really come a long way with villains at this point, because it used to be a villain was just somebody in the background who was just solely there to stop the hero. Nowadays, you do have the villain that is complex. Like, we look at villains now, we're like, man, like, he's evil, he's murderous, but he's got a point. You know, to kind of put it like this too, let's look at, I mean, this isn't really literature per se, but let's look at one of the most compelling villains in cinema, Killmonger from Black Panther. He's evil, yeah. He's killed hundreds, thousands of people. He's killed a lot of all the marks on his body, and he killed so many people. But you you sort of understand where he's coming from when you listen to me. Like, well, if you like really look at him, like he's right though. Like he's not lying. He's being honest. He's just going about it the wrong way. And I think that's what a lot of people have to understand when you're talking villains, when you're talking about any type of complexity, like when you're writing a villain, you know. So, and I want to know, you know, like in the comments section, you know, who's your favorite villain and why do you think they are such a good villain? A lot of people used to go like, well, this villain is overpowered and stuff like that. And I think a villain needs to be more than just overpowered. I mean, that is a factor, too. That is a factor because then you're looking at, because when your audience looks at that, too, and they're overpowered and they can beat your hero, you are kind of sitting back in your mind wondering, like, man, how are they going to beat this guy? How are they going to beat this dude? You know, again, you know, look at, just to go back to the Avengers again, this a really good example is Thanos, how he was built up for 4 movies. You know, he was built up for 4 movies, 4 Avengers movies. So then when he actually came out, you were like, oh my goodness, like this dude is threatening, because you already know the threat. You already know the threat is there. And then that's the same as Voldemort and Harry Potter. Voldemort and Harry Potter, that dude was so scary, people didn't even want to say his name. Like, saying his name was bad enough. Like, people were afraid, like, people didn't even want to say his name. Like, that's how bad he was. In the books, they were called he who should not be named. That's what they basically went by him as. He who shall not be named. So that's crazy, man. Yeah, like I said, like those are usually my favorite villains, is the ones that are scary, the ones that you're not sure how